Hey, how's it going, YouTube? Just wanted to showcase my custom built Odst armor that I've been making for the past couple months. Don't have a whole lot of time on my hands, so I kind of do it here and there in my spare time, and just wanted to kind of show you guys, my update. I know there's some builders out there that sometimes probably get, frustrated with the older videos, or maybe aren't computer savvy enough to buy templates and print those out and follow those along. So yeah, I kind of want to just show you my armor and maybe show you some of the tools I use to kind of get this way. This is my first build. I had never done anything like it beforehand, and I think a lot of it came out pretty good. I mean, if I say so myself, I watch a lot of videos. I don't follow templates or any other forms of being able to put all these pieces together, or match them, or basically I did this all from eyeball and looking at hundreds of pictures and watching a lot of videos from Angel Legend, looking at different pictures from Andrew DFT. There's some other, I watch a lot of Punish Props just to see all their different cutting and different tutorials on how to do stuff. Basically, it's just a lot of me watching videos and looking at pictures, and this is my build from it. So I guess I'll show you the helmet first. The helmet is an ODST-ish variant. The visor is an ODST visor just because I found some easier ways of doing the visor, and it still resembles an ODST helmet, but is a little bit different. I'll bring it a little bit closer here. Like I said, this is my first helmet build. I didn't use any templates or any guides. I kind of just basically did this on my own, and this is what I came out with. There are some goof ups here and there, like those holes, and it's not exactly the cleanest. You can see some of the hot glue a little bit, which I plan on getting to at least the bits around the visor a little bit more, but there are some actual metal aspects like these bolts on here. The rest is just illusionary bolts. Actually, I think these two are real on the front. It's just little knickknacks I find around my house that I put into it that makes it end up looking more realistic. The antenna is completely foam. The lettering and all that good stuff is just, me looking at military stenciling and getting ideas from there. I did the yellow stripes. I did the stripes, painted those yellows actually with acrylic paint, and then I outlined it with silver pinstripes, pretty much using painter's tape, the blue tape, and just marking it off and then painting it. I don't know if you can actually see through the visor from this angle. You can see my hand through there. It's completely see-through. This visor I actually found at Spirit Halloween store for like 10 bucks, the visor, and it's basically, let me see if I have a piece of it somewhere. It's basically just plastic visor material. It's the size of a whole face, and it's just that you wear. It's called the no face mask, and it's flexible, and yeah, I just ended up cutting it out. Like that's the front of it. It's got like a finish, but if I put it here, well, it doesn't really do great justice, but you can still see through it. So it's 10 bucks, and it was something super easy, and it's already got a contour for it like a face, so it just easily fit in there. And yeah, so I'll probably try to put pictures of my progress right here. Started working up to it. This finished project, it went through a couple iterations, but it slowly came to this, which I am super happy with. You can see the lines and all that stuff. These lines I carved in with a hot knife, which I recommend if you're going to be doing all of this. But everything else, like this line here, this whole thing, the top is one piece of thinner foam, and then this is obviously another, and then another and another, basically just to form this, but I started off with a shell. So then my suit is here. It's all made of EVA foam. I think it's 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch, but this is all made of foam. You can't quite get a super great look at it. Tactical pockets. The thing is, I'm a little bit bigger, so I had to think of an ingenious way to kind of hide my weight a little bit, because I'm a dad, so daddy weight, I suppose. So I had to think of an ingenious way, so I made the pockets. And when you make something out of foam, you know, if you're making like a pocket size thing, you would envision the front surface and then the two sides. Well, after you make 2 pockets, what happens is, say these are my fingers and my thumbs are the sides of the pockets. When you bring them together, then you have this space right here where your fingers are. Well, I cut that out, so it's basically a space like this, and then that slid right over my midsection, which basically hid my stomach. Not that I'm ashamed of it, but we've all seen the heavy Spartan at the cons, and I didn't want to be that guy. So I figured ingenious ways of how to make myself look like an actual Spartan. Not body shaming. If you're a big Spartan, be all you can be, you know. Then, if I can turn this around, I made the back, completely custom piece in the back. I saw some of the backpacks in, like, online and stuff, and they were cool and all, but, you know, I made this all from just pictures I looked at and ideas I had, and I thought, you know, I might as well make something completely custom. Cyclops is my gamer tag that I've played from Halo 1 all the way on, you know, and I figured what better way to, you know, incorporate that into my armor. These are just stenciling. You know, I live in California. My call number. This is all foam. It looks like a neat little, you know, dial pad or whatnot, maybe to access the backpack. And then I have on each side, the jetpacks. They don't look like normal jetpacks, but hey, you probably get the idea. So, and they look cool. I kind of added some stuff underneath, these little bits that I think came from the covers on bolts or something like that, and I painted those black and gave it a little bit of trim to make it look like that. My emblem from Halo. This is a funny story, actually. That emblem is one of the emblems where back in Halo 3 you could toggle the emblem and his little mouth would open if you toggled it, so I always had him. I did a couple of things differently with the suit. There's obviously this big back neck piece with the idea that once you put the helmet on, you know, it was protecting the back of the wearer's suit. So you'd have the helmet on, something like that. Hold up, let me fix that. You'd have the helmet on, and then, you know, the back would protect or whatnot. It's not really quite doing that right now because it knows I'm trying to show it off, so story of my life. Anyways, so that's the suit. I also have clippings on the side to, you can probably see right here, to unhook so I can kind of slide into it sideways. Maybe I'll put it on after. Then I have the gauntlets, which I made myself. Not necessarily a specific design by any Spartan armor, but it serves the job. Looks Halo-y. the other gauntlet as well. The other gauntlet I have weathered. I have this top bit is actually for my iPhone 6 Plus. It slides in right back here, and then I can have my iPhone on here and be able to access it if I'm at a con or whatever, and that pulls everything together. Just some knobs. This is actually a bottle cap that I painted to make it look like a knob here or whatever. Just added stuff to kind of make it look, you know, functional. But that's one of the other gauntlet. Then I have the shin guards. These took me, I think, the longest out of both of the other projects, the gauntlets, the torso, and the boots. These things took forever. At first I made them too short and it was just no fun, didn't quite fit my leg, so I had to add more length to it, and yeah, they ended up coming together quite nice. I did use some designs. A lot of this upper part was based on the Angel Legends videos, and I followed him quite closely, even though, you know, I didn't use any stencils for it. I just eyeballed everything and tried to hope that it fit my size. So the knee pad is like custom knee pad. I just tried to make it, you know, look like armor. A lot of these strappings going all the way around, it's just something I made up in my own head. I did a lot of custom cutting to try to give it, you know, its own look. Still might add some yellow to this, maybe to just corroborate with the rest of the armor. The back, I think this is probably my favorite part. I kind of got this idea from Destiny a little bit with the Lion Rampart legs, where it kind of has like a jetpack on the calf. So I was like, hey, that would be an interesting idea. Because I'm making the suit as more of a heavy type suit, like a bomb disposal or heavy ordnance. I thought, you know, you'd probably need a lot to get off the ground. So it's jetpacks and maybe leg jetpacks. So I actually made these myself, and it's supposed to be like a little mini leg jetpack. There's nothing underneath, just I glued some foam under there. This is probably my favorite thing I did that I worked on. One of the hardest things maybe, just because it was a lot of logistics, like figuring out how I was gonna put it on, how it was gonna stay on, how I was gonna make it close without looking stupid. And I actually came up with this really ingenious idea, which was use the little jetpack as a part of keeping it closed, but then also adding something else. And this is the bit. So if this is the front, I made it to where this patterned side of the foam is on each inside of both inner legs. So when you come to the back, you can just unstrap it from the inside of your leg. And I used Velcro, and basically this comes out like that, and that opens up. So you can put your foot all the way inside of it, then you close it up, and then you just strap it back on, and then it looks like a completely custom leg piece, and it has all the shape of a calf muscle and the legs. Really happy with these. I just need to add some color, and yeah, I'm super proud of these legs. I did both of them. I tried to do both of them completely symmetrical. I think I did a pretty good job. Both of them the same method of unstrapping. So yeah, these two were probably my favorite projects. Hardest project, but probably my most favorite. And then I've been recently working on the bicep part. I think that's what it is. This is a little bit more difficult. I might go more for the Halo 4, Halo 5 bicep, which is more of a coverage of the bicep. This one I think is Halo 3, maybe Mark 5 or Mark 6. But it's supposed to slide on my arm and create like a pseudo muscle, which it kind of does. And then the shoulder piece would attach to this, which I'm not too terribly disappointed in. It is a bit tight, so I might have to resize it so it can just slide up a little bit more so it's not hampering my bending of my arm. But yeah, still working on that. Just created this from watching Angel Legend do his, and just kind of like, okay, well, I know I can probably do that somehow. I used basically thinner foam as basically like a strap. I ideally wanted to put elastic there, but I had none, so might end up changing that out. Then, last but not least, my boots. These babies I'm pretty proud of as well. Like I said, a lot of this stuff I made by hand and from my eyeball. So when I look at these as they're finished, I'm super proud of them because I never thought I would be able to do that. So basically I just used an old pair of slip-on shoes, which you can see under here, which have a cool design on them already, so they kind of matched. Then I started off with the toes. I just got strips and did some undercutting, so it still bend and look like a natural bend, but underneath I could glue it. I used contact cement to glue everything to my boot. And then I kind of just looked at pictures online of kind of the layers, and I just went from there, and everything actually came together pretty nicely. Funny thing is about this, the shoe actually stops about there. You can kind of see it there. Then underneath, I used 1 inch thick foam. I put my shoe on top of the foam, traced the shoe, cut that out, and then glued it to the bottom of my shoe. And it makes me 1 inch taller, which is something that's good because Spartans are huge. So I wanted to be taller. I'm already 6'1½", so that extra inch just, you know, adds it on there. And then I just added stuff, you know, like really thin foam just for design, and then I gave it a worn look with all the silver, like, you know, edges being roughed up or whatever. And then this is something clever I made, which just something, you know, little Halo ODST fans would appreciate, and it's boots first into hell. Could be wrong, it could be feet first into hell, but yeah, so yeah, that's my suit. It's coming along pretty great. I'm probably like 70 or 80% done. Still need to do a little bit more. Then I have to work on the gun, which is going to be something totally separate, which I'm ready for, but I'm not. Now I guess I'll just talk to you a little bit about the tools I use. The first and most important thing that I use, that I recommend to everyone who's cutting EVA foam, is a hot knife. A hot knife cuts through EVA foam like butter. See, has a knife tip on the end, electrical cord that heats the tip up and cuts through foam like butter with perfect cuts. Like no scraping, no frilled edges, none of that stuff. Just get a bunch of blades, because these blades get worn after a while and you can take them off and replace them, but they last so much longer than like razor blades, and sharpening, that's annoying. Just get a hot knife. You'll thank me, trust me. Next thing, I use hot glue gun, one that preferably has a high and low setting. High is if you're just trying to crank a bunch out and maybe not necessarily holding a piece closed while you're gluing it to make it stay there. You want to switch to low setting for that. Put it on. If it's on low, it'll dry, it'll harden a lot faster. Hot glue gun, high-low setting. Next, I use a lot of these sponge brushes. They can be used for anything. They can be used for applying your glue. They can be used for my favorite thing, which is getting silver spray paint, spraying a gob of it on something, and then using these to dab that, and then you just brush away from the edges, and it creates these perfect looking scrapes, in my opinion. these perfect looking scrapes, and that's what I use it for. And I think this pack was at Walmart for like $5, so there's like 100 of them in there. Next is a hot gun. I have like an old school one, which really heats it up pretty good. Definitely get a hot gun. I mean, you can work the foam. You can work the foam without the hot gun, but it's better to have a hot gun. Next, Plastidip. After you're done heating your armor, say you made a helmet and it looks great, heat the whole outside of the helmet to close the open pores of the foam, so that way when you apply your Plastidip, it doesn't sink into the pores and you can notice that it's not right. Heat treat it, hit it with the Plastidip, let it sit, then you can paint. Plastidip makes it so where after you paint it, the paint is flexible and it doesn't crack as much. Plastidip. Then my second most important thing I will tell you is two things. I use Gorilla Glue and it dries in 10 seconds. This will close your seams in 10 seconds and hold it there. The foam is more guaranteed to rip than it is to break at the seams. So Gorilla Glue it for quick things, like if you want to hold down a piece of your helmet while you're trying to glue it, great. For other things, like the knees or the joints or pieces that are bending all the time and you don't want them to break, I use Weldwood contact cement. You can use barge cement, never use it. I've used Weldwood. This stuff, it bonds on a molecular level. So like, I don't even know what. My helmet, this helmet, I've dropped it like 50 times. Nothing's ever broken on it. None of the seams have ever split. Honestly, when I was redoing the back of the helmet, I had to rip this off. Like, really, I had to really try to rip it off because this is actually a fish bubbler, and I had a tube running from the fish bubbler into the helmet and right towards my visor to kill the fog in my helmet and also, you know, give me a breeze or whatnot. What I did instead was I cut slits here, which you can't really tell from far away, and plus it kind of looks like a cool aspect, but my mouth is basically around there, so it cuts down on the fog in my visor. So I had to rip this off to take the batteries out of it, and it was a pain in the butt to rip off. So Weldwood contact cement, get it. If you're gonna get it though, get some sort of respirator, some sort of mask, like $20, Lowe's or whatever, because it is pretty damaging to your lungs. I've done it without it, and I've had lung issues previously. So get a mask, stay ventilated, use Weldwood. It will help you. I guess one of the last things is if you can get your hands on a Dremel. Dremels also are awesome for like smoothing the edges of any foam that kind of looks a little choppy. Just get a Dremel, hit it, or you can get sandpaper. Start with a high grit, go to a low grit, and it'll do wonders. Get some craft foam from like Hobby Lobby or Joann's or Michael's or wherever you can find it. I think there's even some in like Walmart and stuff. They have it for like $10 and you get like a pack that's like this thick of like hundreds of these sheets. I use this for the detailing stuff, and it's a godsend, honestly. So yeah, I mean, that's basically it. And I just recently found this at the Halloween store too, which was like $10, but it was twice this length. And it's fake bullets that actually even come out of here. Like, how cool is that? I'm gonna add it somewhere on my armor soon, but I could, you know, just easily slap this there and then call it good. Like, how easy is that? You don't have to worry about trying to make bullets or, you know. So, always look for stuff. Never give up. Never surrender. And just keep making. Like, I'm already starting working on a helmet for my friend. He paid me $50, so I just recently started, actually yesterday I did this, so this is basically what this helmet started out looking like. So just keep going and you'll do great. I believe in you. So if you like this video, if it helped you in any way, gave you some ideas or confidence or whatever it was, slap that like button. Subscribe, sure, and leave a comment if you like. I always appreciate reading them. So you guys have a great day. Alright, here we go. Most of it's finished. We're gonna try it on. Let's see. Let's start with the legs. Okay, let's see here. Okay, yeah. These are funny. You gotta like put them on backwards. Slide those babies on. last but not least,